Spirit has told me that Lucifer has the world in chains. Ponder that for a moment. Imprisoned in a web of deceit, Lucifer has the world in chains. The eyes cannot see what the mind does not know. Disciples of the demonic trinity have instated Jupiter as the supreme god throughout the world, posing as the Greeks' Zeus. He is the official god of numerous organizations, including the United Nations.
Yes, dangerous, but he can also lead us to what we seek, the soul. It is time for our experiment to move into a final phase. We no longer need the other subjects. The time for study is over. It's time to be one.
Lucifer,
the first subject,
Jupiter,
here.
as a supreme god throughout the world.
How will his imprint allow us to find him?
Everywhere he goes, everyone he seeks out will be known to us.
And as he follows the clues,
And
so
he is the
shall we
official
follow
god
the
of numerous
memories.
organizations, including the United
Imprint.
Nations, the laws of which take precedence over those of every country on earth, and the European Union, which contributed to the funding of the current coronavirus. In the guise of Saint George, Jupiter is also the patron saint of many of the world's churches, countries, including England, Portugal, Ethiopia, and Georgia, and cities such as Freiburg, Moscow, and Beirut. Jupiter's emblems are the eagle and the thunderbolt, the latter wielded by Zeus and the Hindus Shiva, and by Thor as a hammer. The emblem of the eagle is used in profusion by the British royals. It was also the emblem of the Holy Roman Empire, Germany's Third Reich, and Napoleon's France. It remains the mascot of the USA, having until but recently featured on the crest of its CIA, Central Intelligence Agency. A double-headed eagle is the emblem of Russia, the Freemasons, and Blackwater. Well, now it's called Shea or something, Blackwater, a private military contractor that receives its orders from the Sovereign Military Order of Malta, the military and intelligence arm of the Vatican. Blackwater has 2,300 soldier personnel deployed in 9 countries around the world, and it derives 90% of its income from contracts with the US government, 2/3 of which are no bid. This all began in Jerusalem in 1048, and in 1530, King Charles V granted it the island of Malta, that is the Sovereign Military Order of Malta. And in 1834, Pope Leo XIII moved its headquarters to Rome, where it is a sovereign territory. Like the Vatican, the Sovereign Military Order of Malta has permanent observer status at the United Nations, and like the European Union, it has a delegation in Rome to the Holy See. And it issues its own passports, coins, and stamps. The order was responsible for the construction of the CIA, which has caused the deaths of more than 6 million people in third world countries with its covert operations, many of which the Sovereign Military Order of Malta orchestrated. In 2017, Pope Francis took over its control while Queen Elizabeth II leads its British division. The disciples of the demonic have crowned Jupiter with more names than any other god. His other aliases, including Osiris, Titan, Dan, Thor, Odin, Mazda, and St. Peter, to name just a few. The son is second only to his father in the number of aliases he has acquired, including but not limited to Horus, Tammuz, Aton, Ra, Mithras, Apollo, Krishna, Nimrod, and the Druids, Hesus, the biblical Jesus Christ, Melchizedek, and Sol Invictus. An alias of Lucifer for the Egyptians was Amun, presented to his disciples as a human ram-headed god, whom they joined with Jupiter and the sun to create a composite god called Amun-Ra. They also joined the trio to create Jupiter-Ammon, which later took on the guise of the goat of Mendes. In 1946, John F. Kennedy led a goat to the Freemasons' Night of Columbus Hall in Boston during a St. Patrick's Day parade. Although the elite speak as he did it to show his humility, he did it probably in ignorance to prove in public his allegiance to Lucifer as part of his initiation into Freemasonry. Jupiter-Ammon was later renamed Abraxas, and his mythology moved to Christianity, where the Freemasons allege he is the hidden god of the Bible. The Bishop Irenaeus, early 2nd century, circa 202 CE, whom the Catholic Church claims was its first great theologian, said, "The world and the heavens were created in honor of Abraxas, and Christ was not sent by the maker of the world, but by Abraxas." In other words, the demonic trinity restructured our universe in Lucifer's image, and Christ is an alias of the sun that Jupiter created at Lucifer's prompting. Those who blame God for how our world works are misdirecting their anger and should be venting their ire at the demonic trinity instead. Most of the big events that occur on Earth, whether natural or man-made, happen because the demonic, in conjunction with the Illuminati, have planned them and, if necessary, maneuvered humanity to achieve them. John F. Kennedy hinted as much when he stated, "Things do not happen, things are made to happen." Global warming is their creation. Many countries have invested billions of dollars in the manipulation of the world's weather. As far back as the 1940s, the US military has used computers to influence the weather, and in the late 1960s, it spent 5 years seeding clouds over Laos and Vietnam in an effort to flood the Ho Chi Minh Trail and disrupt troop movements. The Freemasons confirm that the demonic rule our universe, saying that Abraxas presides over 365 heavens, and that our universe is Jupiter's physical body. Spirit indicated that achievement is humanity's loss, saying, "I feel it," meaning our universe is twisted out of shape and sound of all it was created to be. Many scientists agree the planets sustain radio emissions, creating an orchestra of sound, and that Jupiter leads the orchestral symphony of Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. All four are called Jovian planets, the term being a derivation of Jove, one of the names by which the imperial cult of ancient Rome referred to Jupiter. The term "by Jove" was a common exclamation in those times, just as the phrase "by God" is common use today. The elite own and control the media worldwide for the purpose of brainwashing humanity, including having their lackeys create television programs to support their lies. For example, the creators of National Geographic's The 8 Planets allege that the planets are 8 planetary siblings, which form one family. That is incorrect. The Earth has never been a sibling to the Jovian planets, and neither does the group constitute a family. The descendants of the demonic trinity promoted Jupiter to the pagan as the world's savior, who, they said, lobbed his thunderbolt at it to save it, and that he brought light and warmth to the world, enabling crops to grow. However, They failed to mention Jupiter caused a deluge, which killed millions when it careened into our atmosphere, that it acquired the thunderbolt from its sun to destroy our original energy source, and that the light and warmth disappeared from the earth while the sun was busy creating the Grail bloodline. The theme of a god who died and then resurrected is a recurrent one of the bloodline. The ancient Egyptians use it in the tale of Osiris, Isis, and Horus, while the Babylonians use it in their tale of Semiramis, Nimrod, and Tammuz. In Egyptian mythology, Jupiter's brother killed him, but he was then reborn in human form to become Osiris. After his sister, Isis, had resurrected him from the dead, Osiris then mated with her, and from this union, Horus was born. The Babylonian version paints a similar resurrection theme. Nimrod having mated with Semiramis, dying and then resurrected in a virgin birth as her son Tammuz. The Christian version follows the same ancient template with the tale of Jesus Christ, who was born to a virgin, Mary, and that after being crucified, he resurrected 3 days later. The Christians likewise consider Jesus Christ the Savior and believe he will one day return to earth to save the world and its inhabitants. However, the name is an alias for the Son, and its return will not signal the rescue of humanity, but its destruction. When I asked Spirit to clarify the Virgin Mary, Spirit said, Our Lady, my Lady, thereby negating everything Christianity uses as a support, including the Virgin Mary. Christianity has blasphemed the true Mary, replacing her with Isis Semiramis, who it presents as a mortal virgin. All three serve as a vehicle for the adoration of Jupiter, the original Virgin Mother who created the Sun without female assistance and as role models for females as determined by the misogynist elite. According to the website of the American Congressional Medal of Honor Society, the Statue of Liberty, designed by a French Freemason, honors Semiramis carrying Nimrod's torch. Lady Liberty might depict Semiramis, but the structure honors Jupiter, and the torch is a reference to the Sun. Spirit, whom I have quoted word for word, spoke to me while I slept. Most often, he is the being whom we know as Jesus, an allegation supported by the fact that he showed himself to me on 16/8/2014, and that one of the last statements I was told that there would be no more interviews. Jesus' advice has always been in sentence fully formed, but I find it almost impossible to convey how I received them. I've always seen words visually, and it's the same with the advice that I received. But then I also heard the words spoken as well. Jesus told me, I was the guardian of I did not catch all the words, and the atmosphere. It was because of me that you are here. I was also told Jesus' real name is Joseph M. I cannot read the full name shown to me, and that his throne hath been torn asunder. Therefore, Jesus created humankind. However, the demonic trinity have corrupted our universe and now rule our world. Further, Spirit said, Jesus was taken over by God, and God is many beings. He, she is multidimensional. Therefore, other beings join with Jesus to comprise humanity's God. The bloodline's God is also comprised of multiple beings, including Jupiter, the Sun, and Satan, the latter being the true name of Lucifer. They are separate entities, but are reliant on each other for their survival. Spirit told me that Sun has never been seen as a god. I can only translate that statement to mean the Sun is a god, along with Jupiter and Lucifer, albeit a maleficent one. The bloodline pays homage to the Sun and the alias of the biblical Jesus Christ, who is their Savior, not humanity's, and whom they plan in his second coming will not save the world, but destroy it. Spirit told me life would be a whole lot simpler if we only got one chocolate each. Stay tuned. Namaste. Namaskaram.